So in our seated position, align the back of the skull over the back of your sacrum. And let's for a moment concern ourselves with this low belly area. So the exact size or dimensions aren't really too important, but if you like to think of it as something within the volume of your hands interlaced. But we're in this low belly area, so somewhere below the navel. And what's important is that we remain in feeling connection. And what will be helpful is to employ those belly muscles, exhaling. There's a slight concentration of sensation. And that interior of the low belly area. And then relaxing that low belly area feeds the inhalation. Now, we might practice this for minutes or years before we get a reliable feeling sense of this area of our body. But it's so vital. Now, from this space of the low belly, and I almost imagine like a thermometer, where this is the bulb of the thermometer, and the column, the rest of the thermometer, kind of runs vertically right up through the body, right up through the crown of the head. So here's this bulb of low belly, and this slender space or shaft of that extends vertically through the body. So here's what's important, whether you feel it, whether you imagine it, or organizing around this area today. The import of doing so is you stay connected to your breath. So if you're a little bit kind of beside your body or around your body, I'll just encourage you, come back inside your body. So if you're petting your cat or doing some other thing, just reorganize. Reorganize. Because organizing around this central space of the body, rather than any other external event, gives us insight beyond our complex personality, our character structure patterns, and it's a direct inlet to unconditioned fundamental consciousness. So we'll acquaint ourselves by coming back to this again and again and again. What you feel today might be different than what you feel tomorrow. Whether you feel it as a space or you feel it as solid or you imagine it, that all works. But that we just keep organizing around and sense this low belly, whose space continues through the very center of the body all the way up. Let's switch the cross of our legs right over left knee pile. And just in that simple postural switch, if you're intentionally, you've wandered out, maybe you're like in your eyebrows or with your teacup or whatever, just reorganize right here. Connect to breath. Sensing low belly. Sensing the centralmost space as you perceive it today, all the way through the center of your body, all the way up through the skull bones. And as you're breathing deeply, you might inquire as if you're kind of dropping a coin into a fountain. You might just drop this inquiry into this space. What's truly important? What's important for me to know? What's important for me to discover? Understand we're making a very specific kind of discernment here. This isn't think of the words what's important. This isn't the concept what's important. It's the somaticization. It's the putting it in body terms, communicating, listening, and articulating through bodily, visceral, feeling terms. So as we're sensing the body, we're communicating with our body. As we're sensing the space of our body, we're accessing the depth and the wisdom of the body. This is a departure from engaging in the words or the concepts. So you breathe the question right into your low belly. You breathe that inquiry in and through your core to make it a feeling sensation. And so we plant it there with sincerity. And now we kind of step back, we breathe, and we listen for the next 90 minutes. We let the body begin to tell us. So this isn't a mantra. This isn't like I'm going to repeat this 5,000 times over the next, this isn't a mantra. Right? Deep inhale, 10 count. Feeling that breath land in the low belly, feeling that breath move through the core. And then pause, hold breath. We're holding about 10 count. And as you hold, can you soften your core? Softening the belly. Relaxing underneath the skull. 10 count exhale. And again, 10 in. Ten hold. And just a further refinement, this core is situated a little bit closer to your spine than the skin over your belly and chest. It's a little closer to the spine. 10 count exhale. Now super up level move. Can you remain in feeling attunement to this low belly, to this core as we switch our legs? So can you remain in feeling contact with the belly, sensing the core as you move your legs left over right? And here we'll do 2 more rounds, 10, 10, 10. Feeling the breath move into the abdomen, soften, soft abdomen. Holding for 10, softening core, relaxing face muscles. Continue through 1 more round. Good. Now, after that round, we'll move on to our elbows, our knees, and set directly up for Dolphin. If you practice seated meditation, I can't emphasize enough how important that low belly is to maintaining just your alertness, your awakeness, and how it helps really make somatic, interiorizes your meditation. I can't say enough about that low belly area. So we're setting up for Dolphin. Inhale into low belly, back of heart, with the neck relaxed. Exhale the knees off the ground. So in organizing through our core or around our core, we start to reclaim our attentional energy. And reclaim in the sense of, instead of spending it on self-referencing externalities, we reinvest it in a sense, gotta reinvest it in our own depths. Now the how, the method, is really remembering and feeling. Today we're remembering our core and our low belly, that deep, innermost, centralmost sense of yourself today. How centrally, how deeply can I feel, can I sense? And then sensing it, using your breath, going there, feeling from there. Yeah, exactly. And at times it may not feel so central. It may have a more superficial or maybe a blown out quality. But with refinement, with practice, with time, that shape, that sense, it feels different. And it exerts influence on our actions, our thoughts, our behaviors. How we perceive our center influences how we'll move, how we'll behave, how we'll think. So it's a really worthwhile place to investigate. Take your left foot, using the toes, will anchor down the right heel cord. So just kind of stepping my weight onto the right heel. Now inhaling, smoothly raise the left foot off the heel. Exhaling, press, reach it out. You can turn on all those leg fibers, send it out. Inhaling, we'll set that left foot down. We will switch sides. Now, very often, okay, so we're setting the right toes on the left heel. Very often, and I'll be sure to remind us, to point at this as we're doing it. I'll provide us a cue to help us feel the whole body, the periphery, the edges of our body. And just, you can notice for yourself if you've started to reorganize away from your core, or if you've maintained a feeling connection to your core. So here we go, we lift the right foot up. And as you get that right foot active and you send it out and you reach it way, 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 way out, you'll start to feel foot, core. Am I still situated, organized in and around my core? Did I disconnect from my core to feel my foot? Can I reconnect to my core? Can I feel my core and my foot? Can I feel my body, my hand, my foot, my neck, without disconnecting from my interior? All right, let's set that right foot down. Let's set the knees down. Please rest. These are a lot of big questions, but they'll get us somewhere. I promise they'll get us somewhere. Let's lie on back. And as we do, we'll make sure we have a roll and a block nearby. So if ever there was a low belly concentration move, here it is. Okay. So this, in a sense, was made for the low belly. It was made for us feeling the low belly on a persistent and an enduring way. With the feet off the ground and the hands supporting the head, inhale, head and shoulders off the ground. Pause right here as you curl the tailbone just a tiny bit. Exhale, reach the right leg out. Okay, so I'm setting the sole of the foot away from the low belly, but draw the low belly in and down. So we keep moving in and toward that space, our low belly. Inhale, bend that right knee. Curl tailbone. Exhale, left leg reaches out. Without losing track of that low belly, drawing those belly muscles in and down to the heart, the centermost of low belly. Inhale, bend that left knee. You're filling up that low belly like a reservoir, a breath reservoir. Curl tailbone, exhale, right leg reaches out. That emptying, that expressing the reservoir is that belly moving in, pulling down. Inhaling, filling that low abdominal reservoir as you bend the right knee. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg out reaches. Drawing the abdomen, the tissues, the muscles in and down, below the navel. So we maintain an enduring connection. Inhale, bend left knee. How about we do the next 3 on our own? And that would be 3 on each side. Please continue. There you go. Yep. Yes, so I'm feeling that low belly through the inhalation, feeling in, and through that low belly through the exhalation. My sense is that when we're beginning a practice like this, when it's new to us, we're still getting the hang of it, our attention in a particular area, like our low belly, might feel like discrete moments before they're enduring, continuous feeling moments. And that area may feel logged, like burdened with a lot of opacity or the sense of solidity, before it feels free and spacious and alive. So my advice is, if it feels like blocked or walled off, or there's an opaque quality there, is to feel that opacity, feel that quality of weight or blockedness. Because that too is part of our bodily communication. We want to see in, and we want to see through and feel through the structure of our persona and all of its complexity and flair and pattern and character. We want to see and feel through all of that. Looks like you're just about complete. So if you are, we'll grab the roll and we'll place the roll between the legs. Legs reach skyward, hands set up behind the head. Inhale into the low belly and into the low back. Squeeze the object. Feet active. Exhale, curling tailbone. Float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Draw the belly down, away from the roll. Inhale, set the head down. Release some of that squeeze. Pause, squeeze, curl tailbone. Exhale, float head and shoulders up. Pull low belly down. We'll do one more, just like so, just to get things warmed up. Inhaling as if filling that breath reservoir, low belly. Squeeze the roll. And exhale, squeeze or express the low belly as you float the head up. So just as I'm squeezing the roll, it's kind of a proxy for I'm squeezing the low belly. I'm squeezing all those cells, squeezing any stagnation. So I'm starting to interact with any of that sense of being blocked or opaque in there. Inhale, the head down. You'll take a free exhale. Here's part 2. Inhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Squeeze the roll, curl tailbone, and exhale, reach elbows toward the right thigh. As you squeeze the roll, so squeeze that low belly in and down. So you're expressing everything from the inner legs to the low back under the diaphragm. Inhale, back centrally. Keep the shoulder blades up. Hold breath, squeeze the roll. And with a similar degree of intent, curling tailbone, exhale, reach elbows toward the left thigh, squeezing your belly like you're squeezing the roll. This is a great deal of expression, meaning we're getting a lot of those fluids and energy expressed or moved. Inhale, back centrally, shoulder blades stay up. This third one will be a central move. Squeeze the roll. Exhale, curling tailbone, or reach elbows toward the sky. Squeeze the low belly down like you squeeze the legs together. Can you match the squeezes? Inhale, let up some of that squeeze. You start to feel this kind of pulsing. It's almost a respiration of the abdomen, the legs, and the pelvis. Squeeze the roll, curl tailbone, exhale, elbows reach right. As you squeeze the roll with your legs, squeeze the belly down away from the roll. Inhale, let up on the squeeze. Hold that for a moment. Squeeze the roll. Exhale, curling tailbone, elbows reach left. As you squeeze with the legs, squeeze with the low belly. The legs will help you feel the belly. Inhale centrally, last one. Squeeze the roll. Exhale, reach the elbows straight up toward the sky and move the belly as chronically, as energized, as energetically as you squeeze the legs. And then softening the belly, inhale, releasing the squeeze of the legs, set the head down. Exhale, set the feet down. Okay. So this is my interpretation. But in a similar fashion that we can resuscitate a body, I'm sure we've all had to take a CPR course. How you kind of stimulate the breathing motion, the heart pump motion. There's kind of a stimulating, an artificial stimulating, in the hopes that it actually has some cyclical similitude to our actual biological functioning, and it actually helps our biological functioning breathe and heart pump like again on its own. Energetically, I feel that a lot of this abdominal work kind of behaves similarly. We're doing these great exaggerations, breathing, feeling, and this extraordinary squeezing and movement of the belly in the hopes that it stimulates some deeper, energetic, cyclical inspiration, expansion, death, dying, resolution. So let's take that roll out, set it off to the side. And as you're still breathing into this belly and this pelvis, maybe you can feel some of that expansion, that wave of expansion, or that receding, how breath recedes into the deepest, deepest core of your being. We'll set up for bridge. And with the feet set up hip width apart, inhale into that low abdomen. Keeping the feet active. Exhale, shift the tailbone toward the sky. The buttock lifts, the spine lifts. And you're welcome to use the block to support the sacrum. You may have to get up on tippy toes, which is fine, but then keep the hips elevated as you settle the heels back down. So as you connect to your deep Ujjayi breath, you start to feel the breathingness. If we're at all facilitating or catalyzing this ability to feel the liveliness of the low belly, the space of the body we're calling the core or central channel, however you want to term it. The right foot stationary active, planted. Inhale, draw the left knee toward your chest. Exhaling, reach that left leg toward the sky. There's a principle at play. And I'll use an analogy of wound healing. If I got a pretty good bang on my tissues and they were kind of purple and bruised, and then I just didn't sleep for the next few days. Maybe I ate poorly and I didn't sleep. There's a good chance that bruise wouldn't heal as rapidly. I wouldn't have the resources of sleep and nutrition to fully and rapidly heal that wound. And kind of the psychological, spiritual realm, right? There's this notion of we come into this world with some energy. And we can cultivate it. Or we can spend it. As we cultivate it, breathing it into this reservoir, the low belly, sensing our innermost depth, working the breath, working with the breath and the body in these particular ways. Expressing energy in and through the body. There's something about that work, that internal practice. And we'll switch sides. We'll set that left foot down. And when you're ready, we'll draw the right foot up, reaching it toward the sky. That somehow if I have been kind of on this expense, like spending my energy through maybe addictions or forgetfulness or externalities or kind of forgetting my body, my psyche, my spirit. It's as if I don't have enough of those wound healing resources, so to speak. I don't have enough of that pranic resource to continue in evolutionary progression. And I truly believe that this kind of internal work, some of it is built off of what we call soul retrieval, reclamation, reclaiming this vitality, remembering it, working with it inside of our body. Advances our evolutionary purpose. It moves us in a direction of greater inclusivity, greater embrace, more loving kindness and compassion. So while it feels like, oh, I'm breathing into my belly, I believe this has ramifications that go well beyond just belly breathing. Let's set that right foot down to the ground. We'll do a little unlocking the hip as well. Take your left ankle, cross it over your right thigh. The thigh just by the knee. And flex that left foot. So you're pulling the toenails toward the shin. Additionally, press through that ball of right foot so you're engaging that inner right leg. And reaching with your breath, your mindfulness from that low belly, feeling that reservoir, that breath reservoir spreading all the way down to the pelvic floor. You feel that breath spreading right into that left hip socket. You're getting quite close. And then as you exhale, softening. As you exhale, moving those low belly muscles patiently, drawing them. There you go. There you go. And we'll switch sides by setting the left foot back down on the earth. And hooking the right ankle now over the left thigh. There you go. I flex that foot. Thus far, we've spent quite a number of repetitions or moments feeling in and feeling around low belly. Maybe that sense of breath in belly is starting to change. Just the very act of repetitiously organizing around, feeling again and again, feeling the low belly, feeling our center, feeling our core. Just in and of itself starts to change our perception of our low belly. Good. Now use the low belly muscles really softly on the exhale. One more. And to release, we'll set the right foot back down on the ground. Press through both feet. The tailbone shifts up, the buttock lifts off block. We'll remove block. And we'll smoothly lower down to the ground. All right. Please turn to a side and let's press to standing. I'm feeling a low belly day for us, so we'll take a wide-ish stance. This can be shoulder width or a little wider. And we'll be working rounds of Agni Sara. And we'll start with slow rounds. I think I've mentioned this before. If you're having any back or sacral concerns, it might be interesting to you to plant your sit bones against a surface, and it just provides just a little extra feedback. So it's a simple move. You don't have to do it. But when I do, having that touch, my butt touch something, and then feeling my hands on my thighs, I actually get a little different sense of spatiality or dimension. It's like I give my low torso another sense of dimension, like, oh, it's that far from there, you know. Inhale into the low belly and the low back. And then all at once, we'll exhale out the mouth swiftly. Now it's important to keep the chin low as you draw the belly in, back and up, and let the belly go, but stay empty. Draw the belly in, let the belly go softly. Draw the belly in, let the belly go. You probably want a breath. Take more than one breath. Take at least 2 breaths. Be generous, take 3. We'll do another slow round of Agnisara. So when you're ready, just one more way to feel the low belly. We'll do a 3rd round. This can be slow, this can be fast. But there's just many, many ways to get increasing kind of sensing moments in and around that low belly. When you feel complete, when we stand at the top of our mat, is taking stock often I'll get a sense of the distribution of my feeling has shifted. It's like a different emphasis, or my emphasis is kind of brought into a different altitude of my body. Chair pose. Inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Monkey, inhale, collar away from lap. And set the hands down, exhale, we'll step feet back. Lower, for now, all the way down to the ground. All the way down. Now let's take a moment to squeeze those inner legs. And by squeeze, it's activate, not just contract. If you can kind of get a sense of that difference, I'm activating the legs, which is contraction, but I'm not clenching my legs. I'm activating and reaching. Something about that reach actually helps the body express this energy. Inhale into the abdomen. Using hands, pull the chest away from the abdomen. Exhaling, lower down, downward dog. Warrior 1. Inhale, right foot forward. Draw the arms up. And then exhaling with your low belly muscles. Slightly shift the tailbone down. And you'll feel that when we exhale with those low belly muscles, like a slow, soft squeegee effect, kind of squeegeeing the energy, the prana from that area, can actually help us move internally. Align the head more or less over the pelvis. Now start to wash that breath all throughout your core. So including the head, never forgetting or disconnecting from that low abdomen. Twisting warrior. Exhale the elbow over the thigh, the left elbow over the right thigh. Now if we slightly disconnected from core, just find it again. So just reorganizing, remembering, reorganizing around what we perceive as this central most kind of channel of our body. There's many traditions that have a practice something like a calling back, a soul retrieval. Some people call it like plugging the energy leak, stopping the hemorrhaging. But energetically, it manifests rather the same. If I let a lot of my energy just run out of my body, whether it's out into thinking, out into what other people think about me, out into the news, and then out into my to-do list, and out here and out there and out, it leaves very little resources for me to heal, to grow, right? So this is kind of a reclamation practice. I call it back in. I feel breath moving in. It's a little bit going upstream for some of us, right? It kind of goes reverse direction of our usual habits. But in this reorganization, we might be calling in that critical amount of prana or energy that we actually need to make a major shift in our life. Now, very softly, we'll set that left knee down on the ground. Twisting lunge interlock. Moving on exhale, slide that left armpit down. Right hand behind back. And whether you grab the hands or whether you grab clothing is perfectly fine. Release. Now inhaling, when we unwind and we set the hands down, I'm going to set the right knee down so that I can put a block at the foot of my mat so my ankles can squeeze it, right? So block between the ankles and we'll lower down. So now when we activate the inner legs, you'll feel that as inner ankle bones contacting the block, and reach that block back. Actually move it away from your butt with your legs. So your legs are long, 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 long. Strong and long seems to be how energy can move through the body. Really, really a sweet thing. Fingertips to the bottom of the butt. Okay. Active legs, long legs. Inhale, fingertips pull the butt, butt contracts against the fingertips. Exhale, chest lifts. Keep those legs on, inhale. Exhaling, squeeze, activate those inner legs, press the block back even further. Once more. And release. Inhale, hands under chest, letting the block go. Exhale, downward dog. That simple action of squeezing the body toward the middle of our body also helps move us attentionally toward the centermost channel of our body. It's kind of a really neat thing, and I'm sure you gymnasts, you former gymnasts, kind of get that really natively. All right, warrior one, inhale, step your left foot forward. Take the arms, we'll reach them overhead. As you exhale, feel the tailbone shift delicately down away from the brainstem. If you've kind of scattered away from core, just re-find, remember, reconnect. There it is, using your breath. Good, good, good. And again, this isn't a parentification. It's not like, hey, get back in there, get back to center, or else. It's just, how will I choose to organize? And experimentally, what if I choose to organize around this centralmost area of my body? I mean, it makes good sense. They've been talking about this for thousands of years. Maybe this is part of that perennial wisdom. Maybe there's something to this. I'm going to test it out. So I use a low belly, exhaling, and that low belly motion in and in will take you in. There you go. Let's go a step further. As that belly is moving in, drawing in, exhaling into the body, reach up through the arms, reach through the shoulders. Yes. Yeah, there you go. As that belly moves in, compresses in, extracts in, lift the chest away from the belly. You feel how that strong, long now has a lot more zest to it. Yes, yes, yes. Keep lifting the chest away from the low belly. There you go. Here's that twisting warrior. Exhale the right elbow over the left thigh. And if you intentionally kind of danced out to the feet or the room, just remember, recollect, reconstitute, reorganize around core. We're just performing an experiment. How could this possibly alter my perception? There's so many stories right now, so many headlines about all of these mind-altering capabilities of plants and chemistry and pharmaceuticals. And I'd like to just point out how mind-altering, body-altering is a simple movement toward one's center. How life-changing, how life-affirming, how ultimately more compassionate is this move toward reclaiming my organism's prana, my own life force, my choice-making capability. How life-altering is that? Plants are great, but movement's pretty awesome also. Now, twisting lunge interlock, setting it up by putting right knee down softly. Moving in by exhaling, sliding right armpit close to left thigh. You don't have to jam things together, just slide. Maybe you pause a bit, breathe a bit. And this move toward what we perceive as center takes us through our personality, our conditioning, our habits, right? All that flair, all that personality flair. It's not bad. We're just choosing to see through it, to see deeper than it. What preceded all of this personality construction? What preceded it is this alive, conscious livingness, this pulsing fullness, emptiness. And we can feel that, we can know that. Inhale, let's unwind. We'll set the hands down. Exhaling, know there's a block back there, so we step back knowing it, and then squeezing it, lowering. Now we need to re-squeeze the block. Boat. Interlace hands. Some of you may prefer grabbing the bottom of the butt. It may give your back greater support. But activate the inner legs on that, using that block, and then press them out long, 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 long. Hope I emphasize that. Inhale into the abdomen. The chest lifts, the legs are active. Exhale, reach the legs back, lengthen the chest forward. Inhale, belly to heart. Exhale, knuckles reach back, legs reach back. Once more. And release. Inhale, hands under chest. Exhale, downward dog. We're working Archer, Warrior One. Inhale, right foot forward. We'll go left elbow up, right elbow down. So if you require a strap, left hand lowers strap to right hand. All right, core. We're in this. And moving toward the core can have this almost primordial feel about it, right? Because as we move beyond the landmarks of our persona, right? Those reliable, ingrained landmarks of our character, our personality, our habits, it can start to feel primordial. There's fewer landmarks. There's a more amorphous or mysterious quality. And we start to discover as we move in and in and in and in. Would that degree of ambiguity be all right? Would that be acceptable? Fewer knowns, more mystery? And release. Now, when we set the left knee down, we're setting up for a tangled pigeon. So I set the right leg down to the ground. So walk it over, set it down. Now tangled, because I'll use this strap around my front ankle. My front ankle is my right ankle. I've just looped my strap around my right ankle. My right hand goes behind my back and grabs the strap. My left hand, put it wherever it helps. So you can be upright like so. Some of you may have a more delicate back scenario, so you may want to move the hand forward, the left hand forward. Okay. Reach back to that left inner leg. Inhale underneath that right wrist. Lifting the chest, moving the chest away from your low back. Now, some of you may have a bit of just kind of limberness, and you want to take this a step further. If you like, completely optional, left hand may grab left ankle. This is 100% optional. And if so, I'm pressing out through that ball of left foot. I'm using my right forearm, pressing slightly to lift through the low back. This is not a compressive move for my low back. Ensure that it is so. Where's your core? Here. How do you feel and experience your core here? There you go. That's it. That's it, Michelle. Stay with it. Let's stay with one more breath. So kind of stretching our endurance. And release. Nice. All right. So we release that strap. Inhale, the hands under the chest. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Archer, warrior one. Inhale, left foot between the hands. This time it's right elbow up, left elbow down. That low belly move that we've been doing for the last 40 or 50 or 60 minutes, really helpful in this warrior one. If I'm moving and expressing with that low belly, I can't collapse in my low back quite as much. It helps me maintain a quality of space or non-compression in the low back. So I encourage you, stay with that dantian, that hara breathing, that low belly breathing. That's it, Crystal, that's it. And to be very, very clear, it's not bracing. This isn't an athletic breath. It's yoga. It's breathing for yoga. It's breathing for meditation. This is the appropriate place and use of this breath. Good. Now we know that strong and long or active and long helps energy move. So as I'm drawing that belly in, I'm going to reach up through that right shoulder, lifting the heart away from that low belly. That's it. That's it, Kara. That's it. There you go. You feel that shift right away in your body. That's a really cool thing. All right, when we release that tangled pigeon, we'll set the right knee down and we'll walk the left foot over. I'm putting the loop around my left ankle. Just because I'm not grabbing my foot today. How the left hand reaches behind the back and grabs the loop or the foot. That's option one. The right hand posts to support you here. On some of my more tender feeling days, I may use this right hand and pull. I may put my hand on a block and pull. So all of these moves can help you uncompress and unburden the low back. The other option is right hand, grab right ankle. Remember, reconnect, reorganize. What we choose to feel and engage in influences how we're organized. And release. All right. Inhale, hands under shoulders. And as you exhale, just move smoothly back into downward dog. In downward dog, while our spine is experiencing a bit of suspension, try using those low belly muscles. So you're emptying, you're exhaling, emptying, as the belly draws in and back. And just feel how this may have a pleasant relief-like effect through your low back. So you're using the low belly motion and the legs, the very strong legs, to lift and move the pelvis away from the low back away from the mid back. That's it. And then as a final relief move, inhale the right knee between the hands, twisting pigeon toward the foot. So I've set my right hip on the ground, and I'm walking my right foot up so the sole of foot faces left. And you may grab a hold of your foot. You may hook your arm over your foot. What I'm choosing today is I'm putting a block to the sole of my foot and grabbing the block. Why? So I can push through all the parts of my foot. Something about that foot pressure that just translates a little bit differently into the hip than if I were to just grab my foot with my hands. So it's just a little variation that I want to do today. And when we release, inhale, walk the hands back under our shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. We'll make the switch to the other side. Inhale, left knee between hands. Twisting pigeon toward the foot again. Set the foot out, grab the foot, armpit over foot. I'm just choosing block to foot. It just helps engage that ball of foot and so the inner ankle. And as we release, since we're on our left cheek or very close to it, and just sit back on that left cheek. We'll draw the right leg around. And let's lie back for Shavasana. If you like resting the legs up wall or up on a chair or couch, feel free. It'd be really nice if you can feel your back against the ground or ground facing. And this isn't like a mandatory sequence, but sometimes this phenomena is discovered sequentially, so I offer it. So you just might get a sense of just how am I sensing my body? What is it that I am actually feeling here? So one is feeling our interior, inside of our body. Feeling the breath inside body. Feeling breath centrally. Feeling the central channel or the core of our body. And you may feel this as somewhat solid or translucent, or it might be quite transparent in like a space. So feeling any dimensionality, any space through this core. And as we keep attuning to this core, maybe we can attune to the liveliness therein. For feeling inside the space may have a quality. And it's not a void, and it's not a nothing. There's a something. How some people experience this in a kind of electric way. Some people experience this in a pulsing way or a flickering way. And then as you attune to this liveliness through the core, you may come to discover that this can actually be felt everywhere else in the body. So as you're breathing into your core and feeling this liveliness, expand that breath a little bit. Feel that liveliness through the trunk, through the brain. And if you can extend that a little bit, feel that beyond the pelvis into the thighs and into the arms. And again, we're attuning, so we're listening for something that's already present. We're not manufacturing it, we're attuning. Can I hear, can I feel the thing that presumably is already present? In the audio world, we have a ratio, we call it the signal to noise ratio. So in a lot of ways, we're dropping in and going through the noise of persona to get to this more fundamental signal of our most essential, alive self. Until this signal breathes and reads and expresses more vibrantly than the noise. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. Press to seated. Namaste.